Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Quote for today is: It is never late to be who you might have been. Today, the topic of my presentation is foodborne diseases and food toxicants, and I am presenting it under the supervision of my professor, Dr. Saira Afsar. Learning outlines of the presentation are introduction, classification of foodborne illness, food infections, food intoxications, transmission, recent updates, and MCQs at the end. At the end of this presentation, participants will be able to describe of the epidemiology and the prevention of foodborne illnesses. Foodborne disease. The term foodborne disease is defined as a disease usually either infectious or toxic in nature, caused by agents that enter the body through the ingestion of food. With the increase in urbanization, industrialization, tourism, and mass catering system, foodborne diseases are on the increase throughout the world. The etiology of the disease. Foodborne diseases are those diseases that are the results of exposure to pathogenic microorganisms such as bacteria, virus, parasites, which tend to have an acute effect on human health. However, chronic and in some cases acute foodborne illness may also be caused by the presence of various chemical substances, including the residues of pesticides and veterinary drugs. Foodborne diseases are classified into two types: foodborne infections and foodborne intoxication. This slide shows the classification of foodborne disease, foodborne infections, and food poisoning or food intoxication, bacterial, parasitic, plant and animal, and chemical sources. This slide shows by WHO. Over 200 diseases are caused by eating food contaminated with bacteria, virus, parasite, or chemical substance, such as heavy metal. 1 in 10 people fall ill from contaminated food each year. The burden of the foodborne diseases. The 2015 WHO report on the estimates of the global burden of the foodborne disease presented the first time ever estimate of the disease burden that is caused by 31 foodborne agents at global and regional level. The 2018 World Bank report on the economic burden of the foodborne disease indicated that the total productivity loss associated with the foodborne disease in low and middle income countries was estimated to cost 95.2 billion per year, and the annual cost of treating foodborne illness is estimated at $15 billion. WHO estimates of the global burden of foodborne disease in 2007 to 15. The report presents the final global and regional estimate of the burden of the foodborne disease. The large disease burden from food highlights the importance of food safety, particularly in Africa, Southeast Asia, and other regions. The Safe Food Imperative, given in October 23, 2018. Unsafe food costs low and middle income economies in 110 billion lost productivity and medical expense each year. An inclusive approach to food safety management that makes food safety a shared responsibility among government, farmers, food business, and consumers will be most effective. Food safety is a public health priority. Every year, 220 million children contract diarrheal disease and 96,000 die. The International Conference on Food Safety held in Addis Ababa in Feb 2019, the International Forum on Food Safety and Trade held in Geneva in 2019, reiterated the importance of food safety in achieving the Sustainable Developmental Goals. This shows the food safety is integral to the Millennium Developmental Goals. This slide shows 2020 statistics in Pakistan. Food infections can be due to bacteria, virus, and parasites. Seven big foodborne pathogens show norovirus, hepatitis A, salmonella, shigella, E. coli, listeria, and toxoplasma. Now, what is food intoxication? It occurs from eating a food that contains a toxin produced by the bacteria. An example of food intoxication is Clostridium botulinum poisoning. Intoxication, if toxification occur when the live bacterial cells are ingested, which then produce toxin in the body. Food-related illnesses fall generally into two categories, intoxication and infection. The term food poisoning applies most readily to the type of illness caused by the toxins that may be in the food we eat. Types of intoxication: bacterial, fungal, chemical, plant, and poisonous. Bacterial intoxication are of four organisms: Staphylococcus, Bacillus cereus, Clostridium perfringens, and Clostridium botulinum. This slide shows the comparison between the infections and intoxications. Dangers of food-borne disease individuals: loss of family and income, medical expense, cost of special dietary needs, and increased insurance premiums. Main causes of food-borne disease: cross-contamination, high temperature abuse, and poor personal hygiene. Transmission of foodborne pathogens occur via the oral route. Some organisms rely on a human reservoir such as Norwalk virus, Shigella, and Campylobacter. Contamination can occur at several points along the food chain: on the farm, on the field, at the slaughter plant, during processing, at the point of sale, and at home. Now, coming towards the prevention, there are two basic pillars, primary and secondary. In the primary prevention comes the health promotion and specific protection. For health promotion, four key recommendations are: clean, separate, cook, and chill. For clean, how to wash hands, proper method should be followed and hands should be washed after every use of washroom, changing diapers, sneezing, blowing nose and coughing, touching or cutting any open sore. Hands should be cleaned during food preparation and avoiding the spread of bacteria is a must. Regarding personal hygiene, hands should be washed frequently. Teeth brushing, floss of the teeth daily, and take care of the nails is essential. Recommendation second is the separate. Separate is by using different cutting boards for different vegetables. Use clean plates and never serve food on a plate that previously held raw meat and poultry. And clean plates should be used for always for serving the food. Third recommendation is cooking. Cook food to a safe temperature to kill microorganisms. Chicken and turkey should be cooked at 165 degrees Fahrenheit, while beef lambs are cooked at 160 degrees. Fourth recommendation is chilling. Chill perishable food promptly and defrost food properly. The 2-hour rule: refrigerate perishable foods within 2 hours at a refrigerator temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Now, danger zone. On a hot day, food should not leave out for more than 1 hour. Bacteria multiply rapidly between 5 to 60 degrees centigrade. Regarding specific protection, there are vaccines available for hepatitis A virus, for salmonella. However, no licensed vaccine against norovirus. Tools for diagnosing foodborne illnesses. Stool culture is indicated when the patient has a fever or immunocompromised. Patient has bloody diarrhea and illness is severe or persistent. Stool examination for parasite is indicated if patient has a travel history, immunocompromised, and diarrhea is chronic, persistent, and unresponsive to antimicrobial therapy. And blood cultures are indicated when there is bacteremia suspected. Direct antigen detection test and molecular biology. Technique is first available for rapid identification of certain bacterial, viral, and parasitic agents in clinical specimens. For more information, consult an appropriate medical specialist, clinical microbiologist, or state public health laboratory. Treatment. In most cases, you can treat food poisoning by replacing lost fluids and electrolytes to prevent dehydration. It can be prevented by storing, cooking, cleaning, and handling food in the proper way. Simple rest is one way to help your body heal from food poisoning. Take it easy until you are feeling better. Coming towards the recent updates, an article published recently is Pakistan Food Safety Challenges. This shows that estimating foodborne disease in Pakistan is a tough job because any monitoring or infection control program is absent yet. Unhygienic processing practices and poor storage of milk, cereals, nuts, other foods are a major cause of fungus and bacterial infections like aflatoxins and others. Foods are contaminated by heavy metal as manifested by numerous studies. Continuous increase in the population greatly affects the economy of the country that eventually degrades food materials offered for promotion to get a higher profit, ignoring the quality and safety regarding those products. Another article published shows the prospects of microbial foodborne diseases in Pakistan. This is a review. This shows the burden of foodborne illness is still very high and certainly needs to be reduced significantly. Foodborne diseases are preventable diseases, but very rare diseases accepted. Effective vaccines are not available despite substantial researches. This is a slide from WHO that shows over the years Pakistan has become a food surplus country and a major producer of wheat, which it distributes to the needy populations through various mechanisms, including the word food poisoning. The National Nutrition Survey 2018 showed that 36.9% population faces food insecurity. An average Pakistani household spends 50% of monthly income on food. Food and Agriculture Organization in the United Nations marked World Food Safety in a joint virtual event held with the Ministry of National Food Security and Research. The webinars are organized to discuss how food safety can be improved in the country, building a good food safety system. Our food system needs to produce enough safe food for all. There is no food security without food safety. If it is not safe, it is not food. Only when food is safe will it meet uh, dietary needs and help ensure that everyone can live an active and healthy life. Three institutions are offering PGD food safety control in Pakistan. University of Agriculture in Peshawar, Karachi and Faisalabad. Now coming towards the MCQs. First MCQ is a 32 years old male presented to OPD with the complaint blurring of vision, slurred speech and difficulty in swallowing and breathing issues. The method of successful treatment of botulism prior to appearance of botulism systems involve administration of which of the following? Option A antibiotic, option B analgesic, option C antitoxin, option D antipyretic, option E antiviral. Option C is the right one. Second MCQ is a group of 20 people presented to emergency with the symptoms of severe abdominal discomfort, diarrhea, dehydration. Upon investigation, it was found that they consumed food from a wedding party before developing system. Doctors considered the case as food poisoning. A confirmed case definition of such illness might include all of the following except option A symptom of the illness, option B laboratory test result, option C time of presentation, option D duration of illness, and option E sign of the disease. Option B is the right one. A team of investigators is formed to investigate the outbreak of Salmonella typhi outbreak in specified region. Which of the following is not the primary goal for undertaking foodborne disease outbreak investigations? Option A is the study of natural history of causative agents. Option B is the trained staff. Option C, stop the current outbreak by implementing effective control measures. Option D, stop laboratory diagnosis for cost effectiveness. And option E, study pattern of the disease. Option D is the right one. Stop laboratory diagnosis for cost effectiveness. Fourth MCQ is a watery stool sample was collected from 5 years old boy who is suffering from diarrhea for 2 days. Smooth and round colonies were observed after the incubation in high pH media. It revealed gram-negative motile coma-shaped bacteria. What can be the possible bacteria? Option A, Aromonas species. Option B, E. coli. Option C, H. pylori. Option D, Vibrio cholera. Option E, Staphylococcus aureus. Option D is the right one. Fifth MCQ is two male college roommates travel to Costa Rica for spring break. At their hotel, they eat fruit salad and drink bottled water with ice. The next evening, they both noted abdominal cramps, slight fever, and watery diarrhea, with slight tinge of blood that recurred several times during the night. The hotel doctor gave them antibiotic and oral rehydration salts, what pertains best to their illness. Option A, this could be caused by virus such as rotavirus. Option B, a bacterium attached to the mucosa and secreted toxin that increase intracellular cyclic AMP. Option C, bacterium in the food invaded intestinal epithelial cells and secreted toxins that inhibited protein synthesis. Option D, this could be caused by protozoa such as Giardia or Entamoeba. Option E, this could be caused by virus that damaged microvilli of intestinal mucosa. Option B is the right one. Sixth MCQ is a 20 years old female presented to OPD with the complaint of numbness in the hands, slurring of speech, blurring of vision, and respiratory distress. She gave history of consuming canned food. A deadly foodborne illness from improperly canned food is caused by option A, Trichinella, option B, Salmonella, option C, Clostridium perfringens, option D, Clostridium botulinum, and option E is E. coli. Option D is the right one, Clostridium botulinum. Seventh MCQ is a 15 years old boy presented to OPD with the complaint of cramps, fever, frequent blood in stool. On taking history, it was found that he went to a restaurant for lunch. Nothing that the baked chicken he ate was pink and undercooked. His symptoms developed 3 days after lunch. What can be the possible cause? Option A, heat stable enterotoxins produced by E. coli. Option B, meat contaminated by enterogenic E. coli. Option C, meat contaminated by a restaurant worker sick with Shigella. Option D, meat contaminated by Campylobacter. And option E, heat labile organisms are found. Regarding the scenario, option C is the right one because this disease shows after 3 days. Eighth MCQ is a group of travelers suffered symptoms of severe food poisoning during their trip to Hawaii. Keeping in mind the common source infection was the most probable vehicle in terms of foodborne illness. Option A, non-living source of pathogens that infect large number of individuals. Option B, a living source of pathogens that infect large number of individuals. Option C, any disease that can be directly passed from animal to human. Option D, a host in which a pathogen grows and matures but cannot reproduce. Option E is a living source of virus that infects large number of individuals. Option A is the right one in this scenario. Ninth MCQ is bacteria multiply quickly in the food temperature danger zone. What is the temperature range for the zone? Option A between 30 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Option B between 45 to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. Option C between 40 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Option D 40 and 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And option E is between 50 to 120. Option C is the right one. 10th MCQ is food poisoning can most effectively be prevented by which of the following food safety steps? Option A, leave food outside to throw. Option B, store food temperature at 50 degrees Fahrenheit in the refrigerator. Option C, washing hands thoroughly and frequently. Option D, rinsing meat before cooking. And option E, cooking at low temperature. Option C is the right one. Washing hands thoroughly and frequently should be the best step. This is the key of MCQs. These are references. And thank you.